Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Lieutenant Ward, and I have the honor of being the Master of Ceremonies for tonight's PC-10 graduation. I am also honored to be here as well as a former paramedic class teacher as well for PC-7, so shout out to them. So real quick, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. If everybody wants to rise, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is here in the front. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Again, thank you for coming out tonight. The weather is a little bit crazy out there, but we're going to get this over and we'll go back out and enjoy some rain. First things first, a little bit of housekeeping. Emergency exits. There's an emergency exit here in the back, and then there's two to the sides. One here, and then you can go back out the way you came. Also, this will be aired live or aired later on later on. So it's being recorded by FCG-TV. So you can view this again on channel 19 if you live in the county. Please allow me to introduce our guests, and we'd like to thank them for our attendance and the various levels of support they've given our organization. With us tonight, we have Chief Coe, Chief of the Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services, and it is also his birthday. We have Dr. Fillmore. He's the Medical Director, Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services. Dr. Ryan McFaig, Associate Medical Director of Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services. We have Deputy Chief Kenneth Poole, Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue. Deputy Chief Michael Darwick, Chief of the Volunteer Fire and Rescue Services. Assistant Chief Troy Grossnickel, Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services. Battalion Chief of Training Frank Malta, Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services. Battalion Chief of EMS Michael Cole, Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services. Mr. James May, President of the Frederick County Volunteer Rescue Association and Chief of the Urbana Volunteer Fire Department. Also, a special thanks goes out to a lot of the partners that help these guys get through this class and make their clinicals happen. Frederick Health Hospital, Meritus Medical Center, Maryland Institute of Emergency Medical Services Systems, University of Maryland Medical Center, R. Adams Shock Trauma Center, the University of Maryland Medical Center Midtown Campus, the University of Maryland Medical Center Upper Chesapeake Campus. And again, without the support of these clinical partners, this program would not have been successful as it was. Ladies and gentlemen, it would be normally my honor at this point to introduce the Honorable County Executive, Jessica Fitzwater. However, she's unable to join us tonight, but she did record a short video for the class, and we're going to play that now.
Congratulations to Frederick County's newest paramedics. I wish I could join you to celebrate this evening. Thank you for your dedication and hard work. I know the requirements to advance from emergency medical technician to paramedic certification are intense. Since January, you have been learning not only anatomy and physiology, but also a range of other topics, including legal and ethical issues and new protocols. Each member of Paramedic Class 10 invested over 2,300 hours to reach this goal. From clinical time at a hospital to field internships on a medic unit, you have put in long hours beyond the classroom work. You passed 9 different tests and were grilled by the EMS training captain and the medical director. This has been one heck of a job interview process. You deserve to celebrate. Congratulations to all of you on the top quality work you have done on this journey and for the dedication and hard work you have shown along the way. Being a paramedic is all about helping people. In your new role, you will save lives through the advanced care you can now perform and deliver to people in need. You will be asked to provide comfort and interact with people, both patients and their families and friends, who are facing one of the worst days in their lives. When you are in the field, remember that human side of being a paramedic. It's as critically important as the medical side. People will remember how you treated them, how you made them feel, and the service you provided to them. They will remember the respect and kindness you show them. This is true whether you're serving as a career member of the Division of Fire and Rescue Services or you are giving your time as a volunteer. You are all clearly passionate about helping people, and for that, I want to thank you on behalf of everyone who lives, works, and visits Frederick County. I also want to thank the people who helped you along the way. Program Manager, Captain Ann Jonikin, Class Coordinator, Lieutenant Ethan Hundermark, your instructors, Lieutenant Brittany Moravec, and firefighter paramedic Robert DeGrange, and of course your friends and family for all of their support along this journey. Yours is an admirable profession, and I am grateful that you chose to serve in Frederick County. Congratulations.
And again, we'd like to thank County Executive Fitzwater for that awesome message. At this point, we would like to invite Chief Tom Coe to the podium for his opening remarks.
Good evening. I'd like to join our county executive in sharing my congratulations with the graduates on their successful completion of the 2024 Paramedic Educational Program. Today, we celebrate the accomplishments of 10 public safety professionals as they have each successfully completed what is without a doubt the most challenging and intense training program offered in the fire service. Over the last 11 months, members of Paramedic Class 10 have completed more than 2,000 hours of training that included lecture, practical skills, and clinical experiences. After hours of studying and taking what seemed like an endless number of tests and quizzes, the graduates are now poised to become the premier pre-hospital care professionals they have been trained to be. But Paramedic Class 10 didn't just complete their training. They've had the amazing ability to say that every member of their class will pass the National Registry written test process. Paramedics are truly incredible individuals when you think about it. While the skills they perform, the medications they administer, and the protocols they follow are similar to others in the medical field, paramedics perform their skill set in the most austere of environments. They perform critical life-saving interventions in muddy ditches, in the middle of snowstorms, underneath a tractor trailer, and miles up a mountain trail. Those added environmental complexities make the job of a paramedic like none other in the medical field. For Frederick County paramedics, there truly isn't just another normal day at the office. The Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services is regarded as one of the top emergency medical services programs in the state of Maryland. EMS response makes up nearly 80% of our annual workload. And with your graduation today, you have stepped up to take on a new role with increased responsibility that will ensure the reputation of Frederick County EMS is maintained well into the future. I would like to take a moment to recognize the members of our staff who were key to the success of Paramedic Class 10. Captain Ann Jonikin, Lieutenants Ethan Huntermark and Brittany Moravec, and Instructor Rob DeGrange, as well as our numerous ALS support instructors. This group of professionals put a tremendous amount of work both on and off duty to ensure your success as a prospective paramedic. They have maintained a training environment that not only made sure you were ready for the National Registry certification process, but more importantly, that you're ready to hit the streets and serve the citizens of Frederick County. Paramedic Class 10, please join me in showing our gratitude to your instructional staff for all their efforts in ensuring your success in the paramedic training program. I would also like to take a second to thank the families and friends of tonight's graduates. Your loved one's success in this program is due in large part to the support you have provided them over the last year. I am sure it's been challenging as the graduates returned home from their class stressed and emotionally drained. There have most likely been family events missed so clinical appointments could be made or so that the students could study for the next big test. Graduates, there's no doubt your success in the program was made possible due to the love and support of your family members. Please join me in showing our gratitude to them. Graduates, I thank each of you for your hard work, commitment, and dedication to the program over the last year. You have attained a new skill set that includes the knowledge of anatomy, physiology, pharmacology, and various life-saving interventions. What is more amazing are the intangibles of crisis management that you have attained through this process. Critical decision-making, stress management, and leadership traits that paramedics acquire through their initial certification are critical to your success in the field. These new paramedics are resilient, and they're ready to handle any incident that comes their direction. So now, I'd like to take a moment and introduce tonight's keynote speaker. Dr. Ryan McFaig serves as Frederick County's Associate Medical Director and has been an outstanding addition to our EMS team. Dr. McFaig got his start in EMS more than 17 years ago as a volunteer with the Roanoke County Fire and Rescue Department. He graduated from the Edward Via College of Osteopathic Medicine, Virginia campus in 2014. While working as an emergency department physician, he continued his involvement with emergency medical services as a medical director with various EMS agencies. In January of 2024, Dr. McFaig came on board as our associate medical director. He immediately engaged our providers through both training and operational response. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce tonight's keynote speaker, Dr. Ryan McFaig.
Well, good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to Paramedic Class 10. It's truly an honor to be here tonight, and I'm deeply grateful for the opportunity to speak to you as you reached this remarkable milestone. As some of you guys have already said, the paramedic program in Frederick County is renowned for its rigor and high standards. Graduating from this program is no small accomplishment. It's a reflection of the hard work, resilience, and determination you've all shown. As a result, those who earn their certification here become some of the best paramedics I've had the privilege of working alongside. I would like to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude to the instructors. Your willingness to step into these roles, coupled with your dedication and expertise, has been invaluable. Our program would not be where it is today without your contributions. Lastly, I would like to express my appreciation to the members of DFRS who risk their lives as mock patients during practical training throughout the course. Each of you joined the fire rescue service with a powerful commitment to serve your community. Before you embarked on your journey to become paramedics, you completed fire recruit class, where you not only honed your skills as firefighters, but also began your training in basic life support while earning your EMT basic certification. I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the dedication, respect, and discipline that is taught during this process, and have seen this redemonstrated throughout this paramedic program. And I can say with certainty that the success of today comes as no surprise. I've had the honor of being part of your journey from the very start. In fact, our paths began around the same time, and I think it's fair to say we all hit the ground running. From the cadaver lab at the University of Maryland, where we practiced life-saving procedures on cadavers, to the classroom, where I gained a deeper appreciation for the vast amount of information given in a single lecture, I've seen your growth along the way. I've also had the privilege of observing you during practical training, and while I did my best to offer reassurance, I'm aware that at least one of you was terrified with me in the room. But what you might not have realized is that through these experiences, I was learning right alongside you. I've gained a deeper understanding of your abilities, our training program's strengths, and areas where we can continue to grow. Beyond the classroom, I've had the opportunity to work alongside you in the field. When I was riding with supervisors or dropping in on calls myself, I was able to interact with you as you did your clinical time. As an emergency medicine physician here in Frederick, I've had the chance to work with many of you in the emergency department. Whether we were intubating a patient together, going over an EKG, or discussing a case during handoff, it's moments like these that serve as a continuous reminder to our healthcare system of the importance of your work and the critical role you will soon play in the chain of care. Today, as you stand on the cusp of graduation, take a moment to celebrate the incredible achievement you've reached. This is a significant milestone, and you've worked tirelessly to get here. However, what you've accomplished so far has only been the beginning. The real challenge begins now. I'm not just referring to the demanding designate process ahead, but to the start of a lifelong journey of learning and growth, one with the ultimate goal of delivering the best possible care to those who need it most. As a department, we are committed to supporting your continued education through ALS refresher, specialized training, and other opportunities. But the most important advice I can offer here is this: always push yourself to keep learning. The best paramedics are the ones who never stop seeking knowledge. As paramedics, you will be expected to not only provide expert medical care, but also offer emotional support in times of crisis. Your ability to offer comfort, empathy, and reassurance is just as crucial as your ability to diagnose and treat. In stressful situations, patients and their families often face fear, confusion, and anxiety, and you will be called upon to provide calm, compassionate leadership. I hope that responsibility weighs heavily on you, because it's now time for you to become leaders, not only for your patients, but for your colleagues and the public. Let's talk about expectations. In addition to our department's expectations, let me share mine. I expect you to conduct yourselves with the utmost professionalism, whether interacting with patients, families, bystanders, or hospital staff. I expect you to be self-learners. If something about a patient's history or treatment plan is unclear, take the initiative to research it afterwards. I expect you to know your protocols inside and out, especially when it comes to critical patients, medications, and dosing. But if there's ever any doubt, don't guess. Look it up. I expect you to ask for help when you need it. Whether it's from a classmate, senior medics, supervisors, or your medical directors, you should feel empowered to ask for support without hesitation. In medicine, the issue isn't about asking for help too much. It's not asking for it when you should. I also expect you to have the integrity to self-report any mistakes. Doing so doesn't mean you're getting in trouble. It means that we can all learn together and continue improving. And lastly, perhaps one of the most important, is I expect you to take care of yourselves. This profession can be demanding, and it's important to develop healthy ways to cope with difficult calls and tough shifts. Don't shy away from asking for help when needed, and remember to be kind to yourself. You all provide support to others, but you deserve the very same care. One piece of information I always give to new clinicians in healthcare is this: there's a difference between knowledge and experience. Knowledge is something you learn, but experience is something that comes with time, practice, and often mistakes. You've built an excellent foundation of knowledge, and now you'll begin to gain experience. You'll make mistakes, you'll miss things. There will be times when you feel you could have done better, and honestly, you probably could have. But it's in those moments and those mistakes where you learn the most. Those patients will stay with you, and the lessons learned will help you grow into the seasoned, capable paramedics you aim to be. I know the last few minutes have been a bit intense, so let's wind down on a lighter note. For those of you who may not know, the paramedic classroom has a fish tank that recently welcomed a new resident. It's some sort of sucker catfish. I emailed DeGrange and he never emailed me back. It's some sort of sucker catfish that just seems to stick to the glass all day. And they named it Dr. McFish, which I think was an honor. But while writing this speech, I did a little research and found out some of the cultural nicknames include the Old Water Lady and the Devilfish. So needless to say, I have some questions. But let's focus on this instead. You have brought upon yourselves one more expectation, which is I expect you to care for this fish with the same level of compassion and skill that you will for your future patient. Deal? Yes, sir. I'm also worried who's going to be feeding it between now and... Before I wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a quote that I hope serves as a reminder for why we do what we do, and that is this: every life is precious, every moment is critical, and we are the guardians of that time. Once again, congratulations to each of you. I look forward to continuing to work alongside you in the field, and I'm excited to see the incredible paramedics you will become as you continue to grow within this department. Congratulations, guys.
All right, thank you, Chief Coe and Dr. McFig, for those kind words. At this point, I would like to invite up Paramedic Class 10 instructor, Firefighter Rob DeGrange, for a few words.
In our defense, I didn't know and had a name of Devilfish. So. Hello and good evening. My name is Rob DeGrange, or as the students have referred to me for the last year, Instructor DeGrange or Sir. I'm a 25-year member of the Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue. I'm a Fire Medic 3, and for the last 3 years, I've been assigned to the Academy in Advanced Life Support Training, which we also refer to as the SHOP. I was the lead classroom instructor for Paramedics Class 8 and 9, and the primary and adjunct instructor for PCX. In layman's terms, I was the face the students saw day in and day out for their entire training. If you give me a moment, I'd like to acknowledge a few people who have enabled myself and the staff of the SHOP to be successful. Thank you to Chiefs Coe, Poole, Grossnickel, Darwick, May, Malta, and Cole. Without support from above, the program would not function. To our medical directors, Dr. Jeffrey Fillmore, who has filled his position since 1985, and Dr. Ryan McFig, whose tenure is not quite that long, thank you. To Captain Jonikin, thank you for accepting all the panic calls and for putting the bus back on track from time to time, and after 3 years, I think I might have it down now. The newest additions to the SHOP are Lieutenants Hundermark and Moravec, and thank you. Your addition to the program has enhanced the educational experience and provided a large force multiplier in training. Lieutenant Hundermark will soon be transferring back to a field assignment, and Lieutenant Moravec will be taking the reins full-time as the face of the classroom. PCX, thank you. People tend to credit instructors with successful programs, but I know the truth. It is the students who come, wanting to learn and willing to do what is needed in order to achieve their goals that make a program come out on top. While these people are important to the SHOP and the paramedic training program, and their support must be acknowledged, I absolutely must ensure that the most important thank yous are delivered to the people who contribute the most to these students' success, and that is all of you, the family and friends and the loved ones. It was you who put up with nights alone. It was you who managed households without a partner. It was you who got to hear about neuroreceptors. We're still a little fuzzy on neuroreceptors. It was you who had to deal with an extremely flexible schedule that often changed day of, and it was definitely you who put up with tired, cranky, and irritable students. Thank you. The classroom portion is done, and while they will soon have a little more time, the division still needs your support. I promise it won't be too long before they'll begin to have more of a normal life. The 10 individuals sitting in front of you spent the most of the last year challenging themselves and often the staff of the SHOP, achieving a lofty goals. They have graduated from the paramedic training program, and if they aren't already, will soon be nationally registered paramedics. The pace of paramedic training and the demands placed on the students is arduous, to say the least. County Executive Fitzwater spoke to the sheer volume of hours invested by the students into our program. Those 2,300 hours she spoke of break down to the following: almost 300 hours of didactic learning plus 100 hours of distance learning, 358 hours of classroom lab practice, 770 hours minimum in clinical settings, a minimum of 340 hours in hospital settings, 200 hours on medic units, and additionally they have to complete an internship of 266 hours with 30 patient contacts as the lead provider under the care of a mentor. I tell students from day one that there are 2,146 pages in their textbook and that they're responsible for all of them, whether they're covered in lecture or not. Let me show you what that looks like. Right? While the demand for paramedics is high, the demand for quality paramedics is higher. I told them proudly the Frederick County Division of Fire Rescue bar to entry is higher than most. The program is rigorous with higher than average scores needed on written tests and exams to pass. PC-10 can proudly say that they averaged 86.1093. That makes them a high scoring class. There is always one, however, who tops all of them. This year, the difference between number one and number two was 0.69015151%. I used a calculator. I'm not that good at math. This year's valedictorian is firefighter Andrew Hollenbeck. And while he continuously, up into including tonight, convinced me that he didn't need to give a speech, I hope that I'm getting the honor of being one of the first to address him correctly and ask firefighter paramedic Andrew Hollenbeck up to this podium for some words.
Good evening. Thank you all for joining us this evening in support and celebration of successfully completing Paramedic Class 10. I'm sure it is a relief for you, just as it is for us to be done with class and get back to a little bit of normalcy. Since the time I found out I was valedictorian and was going to be giving a speech at our graduation, I began thinking what I wanted to say. It's taken some time to figure that out, and hopefully it wasn't the result of a possible brain injury from a 1,000-liter cc bag of fluid that somehow grew wings and flew across the classroom, striking me in the side of the head. I was wearing my glasses, so that cushioned the blow a little bit. Then it hit me, figuratively this time. Each one of the members of PCX made the courageous choice to become a paramedic. That choice is something we could only make. It is not a job requirement for us. That choice includes deciding a year of life to class, studying clinicals. It includes, at times, being the one in charge of chaotic scenes. It includes doing every possible intervention in our power and that we have been trained to do to save a patient, but there are many times that that's just not enough. In class, we were asked, what is the difference between BLS and ALS? The procedures that we do as an ALS provider can kill our patients. With all that power comes great responsibility. I'm still very early in my career with Frederick County Fire Rescue. If someone had told me at the beginning of my career that I would become a paramedic within the first 4 years, I would say that there's no way. A little bit story that many might not know. The start of my career was very unique, to say the least. I got hurt during our recruit academy. That injury resulted in me having to get surgery, and I was very lucky that the administration allowed me to stay and complete recruit school. After the graduation, I remained on light duty and was assigned to the training academy until I got my surgery. My first EMS call after the recruit training academy was one while I was going for a run early in the morning. There was a new parking deck that was put up that was completed, so I decided to run my normal route and took a detour to the parking lot. For those that aren't familiar with our public safety training facility campus, it is located on a dead-end road that has a few buildings utilized for fire rescue training and a headquarters building with administrative personnel, classrooms for training, and our emergency communications center. With how Frederick is growing, the lower parking lot was insufficient to accommodate those working on campus. Around 700 hours, I made it up to the parking lot. At that time of day, I really didn't expect to see any cars up there. I figured they would be down in the lower lot. So I saw one car up there, which wasn't too alarming on my run. I made a loop around, and as I was passing the car, I heard the horn honking a few times. I wasn't exactly sure because I had my headphones in. I continued running and got approximately 50 yards away while facing the opposite direction, and I heard the horn again. I stopped running, turned around, and I started walking towards the car. And it looked like the driver was punching the steering wheel, making the horn go off. As I got closer to the car, I noticed a couple of spots of smeared blood on the driver's side door and window. At that point, I was like, "Shee." As I kept walking towards the car, the occupant rolled the window down and kept repeating, "Help me, help me." At that point, I had no idea what to do. I was on light duty. I was all sweaty from running. I forgot a pair of exam gloves and sterile gauze for bleeding control with me in anticipation of coming across somebody that would be bleeding in a car. I did not have the necessary equipment, nor could I just leave, so I called 911, which felt silly considering the communications center was like 100 yards away. As I was talking to the ECC dispatcher, my heart was already pounding from running. The occupant was bleeding, but I had no idea where it was coming from, and I didn't have my BSI jazz hands. My anxiety shot through the roof. The occupant got out of the car and was rambling about God and Jesus. According to the driver's license, the occupant was from Hagerstown and had no idea how he got to the headquarters upper parking lot on a dead-end road at the county training facility prior to 0700 hours. That was my first EMS call after graduating recruit training. I'm pretty sure that was the first interaction with Instructor DeGrange, who was one of our lead instructors. The reason for my story is that over the years, I did not always make the best choices. I've developed the choices I've made has developed this unhealthy need of perfectionism. Everything I did needed to be perfect, and if it wasn't, then there was extreme self-doubt and harsh criticism. That's why I never thought of being a paramedic so early in my career. It wasn't because I wouldn't be able to complete the class part and the tests, even though I was never really good at reading. I'm sure my instructors will strongly disagree with how many times during lecture or our morning assessments I politely showed them that our textbook said something else. Like abdominal cavity doesn't have 9 quadrants, or getting shocked by house voltage can be either 110 or 220 volts. You could thank my ADHD medications that I was put on shortly before paramedic class started. They seem to be working. The terrifying part for me was what we were told in the beginning, that through my actions or inaction could result in the death of a patient. It was terrifying because the perfectionist in me and that I care to do the best job as possible had me doubting myself. There was 2 moments that helped me be successful as I could be in PCX. I was actually set to be in PC9, but for personal reasons, I was unable to commit 100% to the program like it deserved. I remember talking to Instructor Grange and letting him know that I wasn't going to be doing PC9, and his response was something like this: "That's okay. There's no rush. Paramedic class is always going to be there. You'll know when you're ready." He was right. If I had stayed in PC9, I doubt I would have been this successful. Waiting for PCX was the right choice. The moment that I knew waiting for PCX was the right choice is, you guessed it, again, more words of wisdom from Instructor Grange. I think it was during the orientation for class, and he talked about perfectionism. It was something along the lines of, he knows he's not perfect, he'll never be perfect, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't strive for it. That really hit home for me, and then I went on to killing 3 people. Don't worry, they were fake people during scenarios. When we started cardiology and was learning about the different cardiac drugs we would administer after stabbing our patients with an IV or using the monitor to light them up with electricity, I learned apparently you don't defib a patient that is an AFib. Well, technically you do, but you have to make sure it's synchronized first. That was my first tombstone in the PCX graveyard. Over the course of the program, I had 2 more bodies that I was responsible for. At that time, I didn't realize it, but doing that was extremely helpful, accepting that perfectionism or perfection is not attainable. It is a way to learn that your actions can kill your patient without actually killing a real person. So you better make sure you're doing the right procedure. Keep continuing to have the courage to make the tough decisions, and remember, you have people around you that support you. Thank you to Captain Jonikin, Lieutenant Hunter Mark, Lieutenant Morvac, Instructor Grange, the support instructors, and the patient role players for all the work, effort, and tools you have given us to be successfully completing this program. Thank you to the DFRS chiefs that have supported us throughout this program as well. Also, thank you to the family members that are here tonight, and also to the ones that were not able to make it. Thank you.
Again, thanks to Instructor DeGrange and Firefighter Paramedic Hollenbeck for those wonderful remarks. At this time, we're going to do the part that everybody's been waiting for, and we're going to do the presentation of the paramedic class certificates of graduation. The ALS Program Director, Captain Ann Jonikin, please prepare your class for presentation.
Paramedic Class 10, attention. Paramedic Class 10, exit to your right.
And as they move, we're going to have Chief Co, Battalion, or Deputy Fire Chief Poole, Deputy Fire Chief Darwick, Assistant Chief Grossnickel, Battalion Chief Cole, Battalion Chief Malta, Dr. Fillmore, and Dr. McFaig will be presenting their certificates. If you guys can make your way up to the front. I'm going to call each of the individuals up individually. They're going to go through the line. If we can hold our applaud to the end, that would be great. Up first is Christian Cantarero. You can applaud if you want. Chase Gaunt. Andrew Hollenbeck. Christopher Huffman. Kyle King. Lake Miller. Mari Saul. Sean Sexton. David Toth. And Georgiana Williams. All right, you guys can be seated. One more time, give it up for Paramedic Class 10. And on behalf of myself, congratulations, guys. Again, echo all the same words as everybody else. A lot of hard work, a lot of time put in, and job well done. At this point, we're going to have Chief Coe come up again for his final remarks.
As new paramedics, it's imperative that you realize the awesome responsibility that lies before you. Tonight, we're placing our community into your hands to care for them in their time of need. Somewhere tonight in Frederick County, someone's wondering if they call 911 right now in a critical medical emergency, who will be the person that shows up? That person's you. You are now the person that will be looked to provide quick, effective, and decisive life-saving interventions in someone's most desperate moment. Know that your journey to become a paramedic has not ended, but in fact just begun. Paramedics, like most in our service, are required to be lifelong learners to ensure that they stay up to date on the newest trends and technologies in our industry. I encourage you to always keep learning and honing your craft to ensure that the citizens of Frederick County always receive the top-notch care that they deserve. Above all, remember that a large part about caring for your patients is caring about your patients. Listen to your patients, be compassionate, and be sure to be their advocate. Members of Paramedic Class 10, congratulations on the successful completion of your initial paramedic training. I wish you well in all of your future endeavors and look forward to seeing you out on the street, putting your new skills to work. Everyone, please join me in giving Frederick County's newest paramedics one more round of applause. Now it's time to celebrate. That concludes tonight's event. Everyone have a safe trip home.